And a
Sorry,
very
carry
happy
on.
good morning, everyone, and a very happy National Apprenticeship Week. My name is Gemma Mullis, and I'm the EPA Manager at IPP Education. This week, IPPE and CIPP have joined forces to bring to you a series of webinars to showcase apprenticeships in payroll. On Tuesday, we spoke about creating a support network, and we spoke to an employer and a training provider. In today's session, Dawn Baxter, Membership Manager of CIPP, and Rose Howley from MBKB will talk about how CIPP can support both apprentices and their tutors through the benefits of membership. You'll see on your screen there is a Q&A tab, so do put any questions that you have in there and we will address them at the end of the session. Now I'm going to introduce you and put you over to Dawn, who will be delivering today's session for us.
Thanks, Gemma. Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of apprenticeships, the CIPP, and what the CIPP can do for you during your apprentice and for the tutors. My name is Dawn Baxter. I've been the membership manager for 5 years. I've been at the Institute for 18 years. So I'm passionate about you payroll professionals out there, and I think you need as much support as you can get. So the first thing we're going to cover is what is an apprenticeship. So it's an approved programme of learning covering the following. It covers a wide range of knowledge, skills and behaviours within the learning outcomes, as well as manual calculations and statutory deductions and other essential knowledge. It looks at skills such as using computerised payroll software and also behaviours like applying professional scepticism to identify and interpret payroll risks and problems. This provides a fully rounded understanding of payroll from theory in the classroom to application in the workplace. It's split into 3 parts. The first part is called the ON programme, and this is where the apprentice completes all training, and it will be split with 80% of their time working and 20% of your time studying. This is also great because it means you're earning while you're doing it. This will include tutorials, mentoring, carrying out new duties and tasks, and continual assessment to track your progress throughout. The second part is called Gateway, and this is when the employer, apprentice and training provider agree that the apprentice is ready to begin assessments and submit all the necessary documentation. The final part of the apprenticeship is called Endpoint Assessment. This is where the apprentice will complete 3 assessments. The assessment requirements are set out by the Institute of Apprenticeships and Technical Education and are administered by an endpoint assessment organisation using an independent assessor. There are 2 payroll apprenticeships available, the Level 3 Payroll Administrator Apprentice and the Level 5 Payroll Assistant Manager Apprenticeship. We provide support for both of those standards throughout the whole process with our free apprenticeship membership options. Okay, so that's a little overview if you are new to apprenticeships and don't know what's going on. So who are the CIPP, the Chartered Institute of Payroll Professions? We have over 40 years of supporting and leading the payroll professions on their career paths. The charter body since 2011, we are the only organisation within the payroll industry that has the charter. We have over 7,500 members, all enjoying the benefits of being part of the community. We, as employees and members, we all work to the same vision, mission statement, and the values are really important to us. We talk about these all the time during the day at work. You know, if you've achieved something and get a highlight, what value does it align to? So those are really good conversations that we have within the office. So membership. So we offer membership for people that are doing payroll, that are on the periphery of payroll, that have pensions or HR responsibilities. Our top 2 benefits are the advisory service, which is manned by some really amazing technical specialists. They've all been out there and done payroll before, and most of them are qualified with our qualifications as well. They answer any technical queries that you get in your day-to-day role. The magazine, again, 10 times a year, highly valued by the industry. News Online, the magazine only comes out 10 times a year, so News Online comes out weekly. So if there's any updates or anything that affects you as payroll professionals, it comes straight to your inbox on a Wednesday lunchtime. A benefit of being a member is also discounts on IPPE training or CIPP events. The beloved payroll fact card that everybody loves, that is a main benefit. That is the printed version goes to associates and above, and the online version is in the app. We have an app, and it's on our website as a PDF. So everyone has access to it in one way or another. We have a payroll need to know, which is compiled by our policy and research team, and that gives you the essential guide to UK legislation. We have online events, which, as we know, are easy to get to, don't take too much of your time, and some of those are included in membership. And then career insights. So it's working with others like Rose and Gemma that have both worked in payroll for a long time and getting their insights on their career. So what's the difference between levels? So level 3, if you're studying a level 3, you can get a free of charge affiliate student membership for up to 2 years with the CIPP. During that time, you will get an online membership. So you get the online mag, you get the news online, you get 6 uses of the advisory. Once you've completed your apprenticeship, you then are eligible for associate level, which gives you letters after your name, gives you the recognition for what you've done during your career. If you're studying a level 5, the assistant manager level standard, you are an associate student because you're already at level 3 and above. Once you've successfully completed that, you can become a full member, which gives you full membership of the Institute. I do have to do a quick caveat that you are only entitled to one membership, doesn't matter how many apprentices you do, apprenticeships, but we will support you during one of your levels. Okay. So Rose and I are going to have a chat about how in real life CIPP membership helps you with your career. So hi Rose, could you give me a quick overview of your career and how you've got to where you are today?
Yeah, so I started my career basically working for Birmingham City Council within the accounts department. Worked there for several years and then had a break to have my family. And then I decided to return to work, worked again in the accountancy industry. I used to work for Kidson's Chartered Accountancy Firm, who merged with Baker Tilly. And at that point of merger, I decided I'd like to sort of extend my career. And that's where I went into training and carrying out tutorials and worked for CIPP for 4 or 5 years. Then worked for other companies within training and tutorials, and then returned to IPP and headed the training arm of the business before a restructure took place and I got made redundant and then started working for MBKB. But generally speaking, I have a passion for sharing information, sharing knowledge and helping people develop their careers. And I'm just very fortunate that I love what I do.
Yes. And I know that because Rose and I have actually worked together at the Institute for a number of years, haven't we, Rose? So thanks for that, Rose. It is lovely to see how you have progressed and throughout your career. Could you tell me how being a member of the Institute specifically has benefited you during that?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned already about the documentation that you receive, the magazine, the fact card and things like that. I mean, I found that all useful because it's helped me keep up to date with changing legislation, which happens all the time throughout the whole year, which is, really beneficial. I also found that basically going to some of your national meetings, some of your conferences was real fantastic networking opportunity where you could basically share experiences with other payroll professionals, which again has really benefited me. It also gave me opportunities at a lot of those meetings where I could move into getting more experience, more career opportunities. And I also found when I did apply for other positions that it was more favourable in a lot of cases to be a member of CIPP because it raised the profile within the payroll profession and it sort of put you on an equal platform with finance and HR. So that's where it's benefited me and I've really enjoyed the membership.
That's great. And there is a real community feel in the payroll profession. If any of you have watched the duvet flip this week, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but the interviewer, he was amazed about how much for a silent industry, how much of a community there is within payroll. So that was amazing. If any of you haven't watched it, make sure you do, because it's a really good watch. So if we can just mention it specifically for the people doing the affiliate membership, how those benefits that we've talked about, how they can help. So that perhaps is me a little bit as membership manager, is that, for instance, we've just talked about the fact cards. Now, the fact cards contain the key dates, don't they, and information rows of the tax bans and the... Give me some technical stuff, Rose, please.
Yeah, it does. It puts all the national minimum wage, tells you about all the various thresholds in respect of student loan, all the various tax rates, the NIC, the categories. Yeah. And it's just a useful small fact card, as it specifies. And I use it all the time. And every time I'm carrying out tutorials or sessions, I'll always have the fact card handy, and I always recommend that the students download it from the CIPP website.
Yeah, and we also have it on an app as well, which is really nice to access. And the app's great because it has all the historical versions of it going back quite a few years. So that's great for tutors and apprentices. That it's in you don't even have to take something separate. You can just take your phone. And they're good revision tools. So that's one. The magazine. Now, you think, well, how would the magazine help an apprentice or a tutor? Well, it keeps you up to date. It gives you really in-depth information on the topics that are relevant to your role. And it gives real life career examples like Rose's, doesn't it? We have a day in the life of, we have people's stories, and people share how they've got where they are. And also, again, we have people on our IPPE qualifications that talk about how they balance the studying with home life and work life. And that is very relevant to tutors because they often have full-time jobs, and apprentices as well. You work as well as learn. We've also got a free event coming up soon. There'll be an advert for that in a minute called Payroll Live. You don't have to be a member for that because it is aimed at new entrants to the business, and it's free. And we've got one in London and one in Manchester. And again, it gives you that introduction to the payroll community and gives you an indication of other people. You get to talk to other people and also suppliers that, if you're working somewhere and you think, actually, this is outdated, we need to, move our software on, gives you an idea. We also have a payroll jobs board, which gives you career options. We have a careers page. The resources that are in my CIPP, the statutory tables, and there's other in-depth articles as well. Specialist interest groups. Now, Rose, you know about those, don't you? So,
yeah, I used to find them very, very beneficial to a lot of the members. So basically, they'd have a global payroll managers group where people were processing international payrolls, and anybody who's involved with global will appreciate how problematic that can be. And if you have the opportunity to speak and meet with other payroll professionals that are working in that area, it can really be a quick opportunity to resolve problems. Yeah. And it's not just the global, you've got industry sector. So, I mean, you've got local authorities, and we have lots of students from local authorities. And again, they will find problems with their processes. And again, by sharing that information at those forums, it's really good. And just one other thing I just want to mention about the magazine, which a lot of people found really beneficial, is if you progress in your career and you're party to a group where you're introducing new software and you need to look at providers, there's a lot of information towards the back of the magazines in respect to that. And again, you can share your experiences with other people at the networking opportunities. What was that software like? What was this software like? Did you have any problems? And so forth, which is really good.
That's a good insight. Thank you, Rose. And also for level 5, if you're successful at your level 5 apprenticeship, you then get invited to the IPP graduation ceremony in November, which is an amazing event. I love graduation, and it's recognition for your achievements. So that's a great target and aim to have, that you get to walk across the stage and get recognition for your achievements.
Quite
So
nerve-wracking as well.
yeah, for those walking across, and I've seen people cry and laugh and be silly, but ultimately it's your moment of recognition for your achievements, because working and studying is challenging, but it's so rewarding. Um, Also then, Rose, specifically you yourself are a tutor, aren't you? And like you say, you've always had you love training down and influencing the profession in that way. So what sort of benefits do you think would specifically help the tutors that we provide to having membership?
Well, I think the platform which we utilise for the apprentices is really beneficial. So there's 3 methods that are utilised when the student have to achieve their apprenticeship. So one is multiple choice questions. The other is a portfolio that they have to collate to have a professional discussion. And then the third is the project.
Right.
So whether it's level 3 or level 5, basically
Yeah.
that's the 3 methods, which is really good. And the platform that IPP have, they basically helps the tutors, because the students can go on there, do their multiple choice mock exams, and the way it's developed is that anything that they get wrong, basically they have the opportunity to identify that's an area where I'm weak in. So for example, let's just say it's pensions automatic enrolment. If they got an area wrong, they can obviously come to us tutors and say, I need more, I need to refresh myself on automatic enrolment, as I'm getting a lot of those questions wrong. And the same with, complex questions that might be on defined benefits or relief at source. Again, they can come to us. So it's a tool that they use, and it can direct to where their weakness is.
Yeah. And the good thing is that being a member of the Institute would be able to support them with that, because we do have the technical knowledge that can also support the tutors as well as the apprentices. So by the tutors being a member, they would also be up to date with what's going on. Having your knowledge of apprentices improves your success rate, which I'm sure is important to you. And you're also leading by example as a tutor by having membership, because it's showing how being part of your professional body and having a say and knowing what's going on is very important. So we wanted to talk about the 2 level 3s. We have to watch the time because it's coming up to 20 past. There's 2 levels, isn't there, Rose? 3 and 5, and it's an educational route that you would like to cover.
Yeah, I think it's really good. So the level 3 is basically a lot about technical manual calculations. So where you'd be covering statutory sick pay, maternity, adoption, and so forth. And then you've got level 5, which is more advanced, so it moves more into management. Now, both those levels are very, very important, and particularly as you progress through your career. Now, I think it is an educational path by utilising the apprenticeship levy, which will help in a lot of cases fund the apprenticeship. Now, even if you're not a levy payer, it can still help. I'm not going to go into that in too much detail, but it can still help you achieve these qualifications at level 3 and level 5. And then if you wish to advance further, as we know with CIPP, they offer an MSc, a master's degree, which I believe is a level 7.
Yeah, and a BA Hons as well, which is level 6.
Yeah, and a lot of employers, particularly US companies, that would be a requisite basically to achieve to be invited to an interview, because a lot of them, if you're in senior management, they want you to have a master's degree. So I think it's fantastic opportunity to sort of get yourself further developed within your career and educate yourself.
And that's great because the membership aligns with that route. So Rose has talked about from going from 3 to 7, and we have levels of membership to support you along that journey. So the IPP education, like Rose says, goes from 6 to 7. but we support you that whole journey, and we go right to chartered and to fellow members. So there is a genuine route for you. So to bring this to a close, Rose, I'm going to give us the opportunity for both of us to give one piece of advice to an apprentice. So what's the one piece of advice, Rose, that you would give to an apprentice today?
The one piece of advice I'd give to an apprentice is make sure that you take the opportunity to help you successfully achieve your apprenticeship by engaging with your employer, with the CIPP and with MBKB as much as you can, and try, if possible, enjoy it, because learning should be fun. And the more successful you are with developing and educating yourself, the more confidence you're going to gain. You're going to become a much more proactive team player, and just most importantly, enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Rose. So my one piece of advice is keep your CIPP membership along your journey. It makes you stand out from the crowd. If you're looking at your career and where you want to go, by having membership, you are a standout. It shows that you're professional, that you align with our values, and that you're doing your CPD, and that you take your professionalism seriously. So thank you, Rose. That was good. It was really interesting. So I did mention earlier about Payroll Live. So these are two events that are, the North isn't available to book yet, but will be shortly. We can book already because it's not far away, the London one. I'll be there talking about membership again, and the journey that we've got some of our chartered members coming onto the panel to talk about how they've got to where they are with membership. It's a free event. If you can't make the South one, try and wait for the North one to come out. Great to see you. It's a really good event, lots of good suppliers, lots of really informative. And I know for a fact there's a session on neonatal care, which is a huge topic, I believe, because it's coming in shortly. So there's our little event coming up. Well, they're not little. So what's next then? Following today, apprentices, if you haven't already, take up your free membership. Okay. Tutors, if you're not already a member, join today. You do have to pay, but it's worth it for the benefits you get. If you quote NAW, we will waive the joining fee. There's a £50 joining fee, and the team will be happy to hear from any of you, and will guide you through the steps that we need to get you on board. Okay. Any questions?
Well, you know me, I've got lots of them. So I think you both gave a really good overview of the benefits available and how they interact with both the tutors and the apprentices. But I'm going to take a bit of a deeper dive, if you like. I personally have studied. I haven't done an apprenticeship, but I wanted to share some of the things that I found applicable to my membership whilst I was studying, and then perhaps you guys can give your view on it, and a bit of a where to go sort of situation, Dawn.
Yeah.
So as Rose said, and as Dawn said, the new apprenticeships have a report aspect to them now, and part of that report you need to have research, so you need to look at stuff. Part of the apprenticeship you do have on the job and off the job training, so as well as having your tutorials with your tutors, and as well as having that time within the workplace, you do need to have a little look around as well. I found the resources incredibly helpful when I was doing mine. And that's not just the resources within the magazine. So like as Dawn said, people giving you views and experiences. It's all of the information that policy produce as well. So as part of your membership, you do get access to the policy resources, and inside there you will have statutory tables, etc. But you also have things like, which I think are amazing, are fact cards on particular areas. So there'll be like a fact card on SMP, there'll be a fact card on SSP, which yes, you will have been taught that in the classroom, but maybe you want a bit of a refresher, or maybe you want something else on your desk as part of your little handbook. Rose, how do you think that your students could use these as part of their apprenticeship?
I think they'd be really a fantastic tool, particularly when they're doing the multiple choice, etc., because it's open book. And if they've got a fact card like that, that's accessible to them, then basically that will help them answer some of the questions, particularly areas where they feel they're maybe a little bit weak. So it could be, let's say, statutory maternity or shared parental, because those are things that doesn't get processed that often within payroll departments. So those sort of fact cards would be really beneficial for them.
Great. How about you, Dawn?
Well, as you know, I'm not a technical payroll professional,
No?
but I do know that this institute stands out because of the expertise within it. And the fact is, we work really closely with HMRC and government departments, and that's our policy and research team. So they're at the heart of what's happening. And so our information is a source of truth. There's a lot of information out there on the internet. I know there's groups and you can ask a question, you might get 4 different answers, whereas here we're here to support you with the correct answer. And I think that's what makes membership stand out and supports any payroll professional.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think sometimes when you're studying, even if you are studying in a cohort, you've got that support network. So if you're in a cohort, all of you can chat. But if you're in a bureau and you may only be responsible for one aspect of the payroll, again, part of these assessments now that you have to do, you have to cover a wide range of things. So again, back to you, Rose, with the special interest groups that we have, how would you encourage your students to join them to gain more information?
Well, I'll be looking at basically the sectors that you offer. So if you worked in retail, for example, you might be, I don't know, in the payroll department of, let's say M&S, Marks and Spencer's. And again, any sector that you work in, they tend to experience the same problems. So, or highlights. So, I mean, again, it's just nice to share it. And it's not just that. I mean, I think you mentioned a jobs board that you have at CIPP. Any career opportunities as well within those groups? They may be able to obviously discuss. There might be a vacancy. They specialised in that area. So together with networking and the CIPP platform, it's great career
Yeah.
help.
I think networking is another huge point of and very much a positive of being part of the CIPP. We are known to be the silent industry. We sat there in the back, and generally only anyone comes to us if there's a problem. It's not necessarily the industry that gets, oh well, thank you for paying me this month. However, when you're in that community of like-minded people, you can receive that praise from there. So looking at the careers then, and I know you said, Rose, about the level 6 and the level 7.
Yeah.
How do you both think that membership can not necessarily help support, but encourage those moves up to those next levels?
Because
Well,
membership. Sorry,
yeah,
you go,
I mean,
Rose.
I just think it depends on what you are, what your ambition is. Now, within the industry, you could be a plodder, that you just like where you are. You don't want the responsibility of managing people or managing functions. And so you might be happy with a level 3. But then maybe you might be happy with a level 3 today. But then as your children mature and you have more time, you might think, right, I now want to move up in my career. I mean, I was a prime example of that because I had 7 years out of work with my 3 sons. And then I just went back on a gradual scale. And obviously then as I worked with CIPP, I achieved my level 5 diploma, which was a great opportunity. And so I just think the window's there. So always keep your membership, even if you have a break in your career. And then when you're ready, the opportunity is there for you to advance. And you've kept up to date anyway, which is great as part of the membership. And so it's not like you're a silent partner and lost contact, because like with anything, IT, payroll, legislation, whether you're in accounts, HR, or payroll, you have to keep up to date, and you do need sources to enable you to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is that a lot of, like Rose says, some of us have different expectations of our career and our journey, and they change from day to day, year to year. And membership is here. We have levels for every step of that way. And the thing that you have to think is membership gives you that recognition. And, you know, we have, I think it's 2,500 full members that have either achieved a level 5 or have hit the criteria for 3 years in a management or managerial role. The thing that I also think is I think that membership opens you up to the opportunities that are not traditional in terms of career. It's not, you don't have to just process payroll to be in payroll. There's IT, there's technology, there's software. Look at Gemma and Rose. They aren't in a traditional payroll role, but that's how the CIPP is working with you to open those opportunities and to show you the ways you can move forward.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just to add to that, I think that the membership benefits, such as the magazine, are a great way to explore that. In the magazine, we cover lots of different topics. And in there, you might be reading about a topic that might make you think, oh, actually, I really find software that's really interesting. Yes, at the minute I'm in operational payroll, but how about let's explore in that other area? So I think having the magazine as a membership benefit, I think is great, because not only does it inform you of up-to-date stuff, it also can open new pathways for you as well. Another area on that, though, with pathways is around CPD. Now, when you are looking for a new role, or after you've completed your apprenticeship, for example, employers like to see that you have got that continual professional development. How does the CIPP membership support this, Dawn?
So CPD is part of your membership. You have to do it to prove that you're professional. So you have to do one activity per year. Even in your free memberships, you still have to do that. Not so much in the the affiliate student level, but in the associate student, because it's a professional level, you have to do one activity. And it shows to yourself and your employers and your peers that you are taking professional development seriously, and it's mandatory for associates and above.
So like you said, it's mandatory. So how does the CIP, so what membership benefits are on offer that can help people easily gain those CPD points?
So we have the Be Knowledgeable webinars that are free to all levels. They're online, they're on hot topics. We have those 4 to 6 times a year, I think, and they're run by our policy team. So again, you're getting the information from the source of truth, that you're getting the right information. They're free. You also get a discount on training courses. So like Gemma says, if you're doing a specific area and you need some more in-depth that's even apart from your apprenticeship, you need more, then we give you a discount on your training courses. The magazine, we also have for the associate students and above, we have a payroll reference book, which is available in the Kindle thing if you wanted to have a look at it, for people with Kindle Prime. Like Gemma says, we have the resources that are written by our policy and research team. Can you think of anything else, Gem?
Yeah, so even stuff like calling the advisory team, that's part of research, so that can be logged. So really you're getting a 2 for 1. You're getting the updates that you need to become relevant, still within the industry, and you've already got your evidence made for you, if you like. So you've just been on a call to the advisory team, for example, you can log that. You've attended your Be Knowledgeable webinar, you can log that as well. So as well as Dawn saying, yes, you have to have it, we give you options to gain them as well. So it's not a case of, oh, we expect you to have X, Y, and Z, but you can just go off and get them yourself. When you're being taught on your apprenticeship, you're attending training, you're learning about payroll, you're keeping up to date. So any sessions that you attend through your apprenticeship, they can be logged towards your CPD too. And certain training courses, like you say, Dawn, they've got CPD points attached to them as well.
Yeah.
From, again, looking at that employer point of view, I know industry job adverts look for the CIPP letters. Now,
Yes.
whilst the qualifications aren't necessarily CIPP, they are actually approved by CIPP, and that's both the apprenticeships and the IPP qualifications. Once you become a certain member level, you can gain those letters. And I know from personal experience and from looking at recruitment consultants, they actually look for those letters. So it makes you stand above the crowd. And personally as well, you've worked really hard to get them. They're not just given away. So use them and get you, I wouldn't say your money's worth if you're paying to be a member, but get your knowledge worth of using those letters. So really, I think if I was to give one bit of advice to any apprentice now that's currently on plan, is get that free membership. Once you've got that free membership, don't just think, oh, I've got the membership. Use it. There was lots of things that are on that website that if you give yourself 10 minutes to go and have a look round and a mooch around, I think you might be a bit surprised of what's there. Another plus point we were talking about before we joined the call today was something a bit nice, wouldn't you say, Dawn?
Yeah, Totem Plus, yes.
Yeah, do you want to give us a bit more detail on that?
Yeah, so Totem Plus used to be called the NOS student card, so it gives you discounts in shopping outlets, online, hotels, holiday parking. It isn't free, but it's a low cost. I've just renewed mine for 3 years at £25, and I triple at least the savings on that by using it when I'm out shopping. New Look, I think, anywhere that says they do student discount. Sometimes they're not even on the Totem site. You just have to go in and say, do you do student discount? And it's an ID card. And for those of you on apprentices, you can also get a proof of ID card. For those of you who shop a lot like me, you also can get a prepayment Visa card, and you get 3% back at Waitrose, Sainsbury's, so some of the shops. So it has so many benefits. I'm a great advocate for it because I've just renewed mine, so I'm into my second 3 year of it. But you also, as members, so even when you'll stop studying as a professional member, you are still allowed to have it because it is now open, not just to students, but members of professional bodies. So if you haven't got one, get one.
I think it's good to have. It's an extra perk, if you like. So when you're buying a new outfit for your graduation, once you've completed your level 5, you can use that too. So just touching on graduation then. So the CIPP recognise anyone that has completed a qualification of a level 5 and above in payroll. Not this year, I forget what year we're in, but last year was the first year that the level 5 apprentices were actually joined. If you were on yesterday's webinar, you would have seen Curtis. He actually attended the ceremony last year. So for me, being recognised in that way amongst my peers within the industry who've also completed a level 5 but have gone down a different route, I think is amazing. It also does show to the industry the importance of apprentices and shows that the apprenticeship at a level 5 is worthy, and if not the same as any other qualification in payroll at that level 5 that's approved by the CIPP. So if you have completed your level 3, you're thinking about a level 5 and you want that further recognition, please do give it a go, because you'll have not only the support from your training provider and your employer, but you'll also get amazing support from the CIPP, and we'd all love to see you celebrating it all at the end.
Yeah.
So
have you got a date for that yet?
It's the 27th of November, I believe, this year. That's just off the top of my head, but yeah, it's the end of November, and they usually do take place every November too. Okay.
Which is good. And have you got the venue sorted or not?
We have, yeah. So it's held at the Symphony Hall in Birmingham. So it's an amazing day. it's probably my favourite event, because seeing the pride on people, you've all worked incredibly hard to get there, and to see your family all in the crowds clapping you, and yeah, it's fantastic. You get to wear a cap and gown too, and I think it removes some of that stigma off from people that think, oh, if I've done an apprenticeship, I don't get to go to graduation because I've not been to university. Yeah, so it's giving that to. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it is a lovely event.
It's brilliant. So that's all for me. Oh, sorry, I've just been
Excellent.
told it's the 28th of November. Thanks, Sue. I have a million dates in my head, so you will have to forgive me for that one. But yeah, so that's all from me. I've got no other questions that have come through from anyone else. So yeah, if you do have any questions about membership, please email membership@cipp.org.uk. If you've got any questions about actually taking on an apprentice or becoming an apprentice yourself, if you can email to epa@ippeducation.co.uk, and we can send you over some links of all the training providers that we work with. Thank you so much to you, Rose, and to you, Dawn, today. It's been really informative.
Thank you.
And I hope you've all had an amazing National Apprenticeship Week. Thank you all again for joining. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.